What's up, guys? It's episode 49, and I'm going to be answering all your AMA questions. Not all of them, some of them, like a handful of them. There was too many, I can't do all of them. I'm going to be answering your questions, but while I do that, I'm going to be serving up the Kevins some delicious, delicious canned food. We'll see how it goes. Kevins! Order up! No takers so far. Great. You like that? Oh, yeah. That's the sound. That's the sound right there. What's up, Kevins? No, wrong way. Plate's over here. Okay, so, yeah. Last week, I posted on Instagram and Ask Me Anything, and I was going to do a whole episode about it, and I got distracted talking about the time that I went to a restaurant where I ate people. Allegedly. Okay. So last week I was going to answer more questions than I did. So that's what I'm going to do this week. Can you not do that? No, don't eat that. No, wrong. Okay. We're just going to pause. Just zoom in on Kevin for a second. We're sharing. Sharing is caring. You little shits. Okay, let's do this. Let's answer some questions. Actually, before I do that, I want to point out a couple things. My shirt, this episode is brought to you by Von Payne Whiskey. It's flippin' delicious. I've got a Von Payne shirt that they sent me. I've got the Von Payne actual bottle of whiskey, and the spout is a gargoyle. Like, it pours out of its mouth. It's so rad. Let me hold it up to the camera. The sound of them eating is so gross. Oh, Kevin's already done. All right, great. He's going to go barf on all my stuff now. All right, and then also these lovely flowers here on my set were made by Anarchy in the Bouquet. My friend Stacy. She's so amazing. That's me as a skeleton with long red hair and a microphone. Isn't that so cool? She made that for me, and it's going right on the podcast set, and it's being blocked by my cat's enormous butt as she eats canned food. Great. Okay. Let's get. And also I have a bunch of Star Wars toys all over the set from my good friend Keith, and he's a listener. So hi, Keith. All of the toys and stuff you dropped off is it's being put to good use, and it's being very well loved here in my house. Got the little magnets, got the little R2, got the pillows. I got this pillow, dude. We're moving up, right? The podcast set's getting better and better every day. We're moving on up. All right, let's get. That was the weakest drum roll of all time. All right, let's get to the AMAs. Save Us Bob Man says, what recipe of yours, of anything, can you share? I'd like to try it. Well, Bob Man, I don't cook, okay? I'm a woman of many talents, but I don't cook. I don't like cooking. I've never really had fun doing it, right? Like, baking is a little more fun for me because you follow a recipe like more exactly, and it's kind of more like a science, whereas cooking is, they say, baking is science and cooking is an art form. Because in baking, they're like, 2 eggs, put in 2 eggs, and you're like, done. But then in cooking, they're like, well, you could put in 1 egg or 2 egg, or you could substitute it for this, and you could sprinkle some paprika and whatever this or that. And it's just like, I don't know how to like toss things in. It's like not my thing. Don't like it. Which is funny because it's kind of like improv, right? Like you're kind of improving your dinner when you cook. And I like improv comedy, but I don't like improv food. Don't like that. But I will tell you that when I was younger and liked to bake more things with my friends, we had this recipe where it was called soda cake, right? Where we would just take a box of cake mix from the store, just like a basic chocolate or vanilla cake mix, and we pour it in a bowl, and then you pour in a can of soda, like a can of Sprite or Coke. I think Sprite always worked the best. But all you do is you pour in the soda into the bowl, and then you mix it up, and you put it in a cake pan, and then you put it in the oven, and then you bake it, and then it comes out and it's cake. I don't know how it works, but you don't put in any of the other crap. You don't put in like the eggs or the oil or the water. Somehow the bubbles in the soda can they take over all of those duties, right? They take over all those responsibilities in the cake making process, and then they make you a cake. And my friends were always like, this is so much better because it's actually healthier, because you're not getting like the fat from the oil and the eggs. And I was like, yeah, this is totally healthy. Not realizing the 200 grams of sugar from the soda can. We're already taking cake full of sugar, pouring more sugar into it, and then putting frosting on the top and sprinkles, and then being like, this is healthy. This is definitely healthy. Good for us. So yeah, that's an old family recipe. Do you play pickleball? This is by Wenbro79. Good. Kevin is pooping, and girl Kevin is eating very loud. And what? Okay. Can you stop? Every time. Okay. Do you play pickleball, and would you be my partner for a tournament? I do play pickleball, and you're gonna have more fun playing pickleball with me than anybody else. Because first of all, I don't play sober. Kevin! First of all, I don't play sober. Don't like to play pickleball sober. It's way more fun if you got a couple drinks. It's always good to have alcohol and then do something strenuous, some strenuous cardio. Great idea. That's how I roll. But again, I'm doing dry July, so I can't do it this month, but hit me up in August. We'll take shots and toss the ball around. But yeah, I love pickleball. I love that it's popular now because it's kind of like easy tennis. Oh, you're back. Good. It's kind of like easy tennis or extreme ping pong, right? So here's the problem with tennis. The balls are too bouncy. Okay? Tennis balls, they bounce too high, right? You hit the ball wrong, which you will, because you suck at tennis. You do. You suck at tennis, and you're going to hit it wrong, and it's going to go to the next block. It's going to go 2 blocks away on the first shot. And then you're going to have to go get it if you want to keep playing. And then by the time you go and you get your ball from some old lady's yard 2 blocks away, she's mad. Once you get it, you come back, you're out of breath, you're done for the day. That's it. Cool day of playing tennis, man. That was awesome. I'm really glad we did that. No, balls are too bouncy. They shouldn't go that far. It's a major flaw in the game of tennis nobody's talking about. And also, the court's too big. The court is too big in tennis. You're running too far. You're running too much. Dude, it's such a dick move when you're playing somebody in tennis and then they hit it to, like, the left corner, and then you run over there and you hit it back, and then they hit it to the right corner, and you have to run all the way. It's too much running. The balls are too bouncy, and there's too much running. And also, I don't understand the scoring at all. Love, why? There's no love. No love won't hurt me. There's no love. There's no love in the game of tennis, right? There's no love in sports. This is a bloodthirsty competition. Don't talk to me about love 40 or whatever the hell the score is. To be fair, I also don't understand pickleball scoring. But alas, I regress. What's the word what is the word I'm looking for? Digress. But alas, I digress. And next, where's I at? Number 4. Point number 4. Tennis is too expensive. It's too expensive. The rackets are too expensive. No, I'm not into it. Pickleball is perfect, right? Because the balls are not bouncy and they don't go that far. So you don't have to run as much because also the court is smaller. And you get to say fun words like the kitchen, right? Which is very odd. Why is it called that? Why is it called that? Why is it called pickleball? And why are we talking about kitchens? This is somebody picked some weird words. It was not this. I don't think that this was like a committee decision calling it pickleball, talking about the kitchen. Like this is, what are we doing, guys? Float it, right? Float it to like a censor group. What's it called? Like a brain trust? What is the word I'm looking for? When like a group of people who make decisions. Float it. But anyway, some popped off, right? Like somebody in charge of the marketing of pickleball was like, we're going to make this incredibly famous. And they did. Can you not do that? This is my knife and I don't want you to lick it. Okay. So pickleball is super fun. And what I learned about pickleballers is that they're savage. They're so savage. I played with my friend John Sohinki last year. And like the first step he took, he like broke his leg, basically. He just went down, right? And he was like I think I've told this story before, like he's on the court just like writhing in pain. And we're like, do you need to go to the hospital? And he's like, ah! And then this other dude who you can tell is like a total pickleballer, like he does this all the time. He came running over and he's like, oh, is he okay? And we're like, no, he's seriously hurt, bro. And then the dude's like, oh, so do you need a fourth player? Can I play with you guys? Dude, our buddy needs to go to the hospital. And you're like, sweet. Now I can play. I can take his place. Brutal. Pickleballers are savage. But I will not play with you in a tournament because I'm good sometimes, right? I'm good for like 30 minutes. I'm on fire and then it just all starts to fall apart. And I just get belligerent and I just start yelling, right? I'm like the John McEnroe of pickleball. I like to break stuff. I like to yell, constantly argue that all of my shots are in when none of them are. But yeah, no, pickleball is great. And I love that it's popular. There's a new place opening up by our house called Chicken and Pickle. Not really sure what that's going to be. I hope that you play pickleball and they just release chickens onto the courts. And if you kick one, then you're disqualified. Okay. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle? Is it even a question? It's Michelangelo, because he's a party dude. And I'm a party gal. I am a hot girl having fun. I've decided. I'm still a hot girl having fun. And I eat pizza. And I'm here to party. And, fight crime if I need to. So me and Michelangelo, we are the same. Harvey doesn't drink. Oh, that was Raffy to the Taffy, by the way. That's the best username so far. Why are you scraping why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Don't scrape the table. Weirdo. Harvey doesn't drink coffee. Should I move to Oklahoma? No. Why would you move to Oklahoma? What is in Oklahoma? Stop scraping the table. It's very distracting. Please stop. What's in Oklahoma? What do they have? What's in Oklahoma? Hold on. Okay. I'm going to search Oklahoma tourism. What you got, guys? What you got? They've got Tulsa. Yay, let's all go to Tulsa. That's a tourist attraction. The number one tourist attraction in Oklahoma is the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum. Dorks. I'm sure it's really fascinating, guys. Wow, things are just popping in Oklahoma. We have a fountain show in Vegas. We have like the world's best fountain show, and we have a sphere that you can go inside. And we had a volcano, but they just took it away. And we have New York, and we have a pyramid. We have a lot going on in Las Vegas, but you guys got a pretty sweet memorial, sounds like. I literally can't find anything else. It's like, well, we got Tulsa and this sweet memorial. Great. No, don't go there. Move to Vegas. It's terrible and it's hot. Okay, let's see what else we got. Nick Quattrini says, best band that ended too early and one you'd like to see return to performing. This is easy peasy lemon squeezy. So back in the day when I was, I want to say 11 or 12 or something. It was before all that. My agent sent me an audition that was like, hey, urgent. This is an urgent audition. There's a band who needs a little mean-looking girl for their album cover. Now, I was not a mean little girl. I was probably the nicest little girl. I was like total goody two-shoes. Cindy Brady, that's me. But they're like, can you look mean? And it just so happens that at that time when they were looking for a mean-looking little girl, I had a palate expander in my mouth that was making my jaw wider. It was like breaking my face bones and widening them. So I had a massive gap in my front two teeth, right? Just like a super hillbilly gap. But I didn't want to do any auditions while I had the gap in my teeth. I didn't want to see any of my friends. I was super self-conscious about this gap in my teeth. And I've actually done a whole YouTube video about this experience. But my mom was like, I think we should still audition for this. Like, let's shoot him some photos. So my mom took some photos of me like looking super mean and like growling like at the camera with this giant gap in my teeth. And I booked it like immediately. Like I hated the gap in my teeth, but they found value in it because it made me look super mean and like a big bully. And the album was called Bully. And the band was called Sugar Bomb. And gosh, I need to look up what year it was. I mean, super early 2000s, maybe the year 2000, 2001, something like that. Yeah, so I got to meet the band. I got to be in their big photo shoot for all the pictures for their album and their release and their publicity. And, they dyed my hair like super, super red. And, I got to pretend I was running over some of the band members with my bicycle. And I was just like this mean little bully girl. And not only was the photo shoot and the job so much fun, the band was awesome. Like their music was so sick. I still listen to their music. And they were signed during... I don't remember the exact story, but it was one of those times in music where like a bunch of bands got signed and then they all got dropped from their labels and everybody got screwed over and it was a really bad time in music and they just kind of, were victims of that whole thing that happened. So they were amazing. I feel like their music was kind of ahead of its time. Like everything at that time was super, super bubblegum pop and they had like pop, but like a rock edge to it, which kind of became more popular a couple years later. But their sound was so good. And the lead singer, what was his name? I want to say Phil or something. Gosh, he was so awesome. Like he had such an incredible voice. So I don't think they like broke up like after that happened, and they didn't make any more music, which is so sad because they were flipping great. And I'll show all the pictures. They let me keep the bike afterward, by the way. I was super excited. They brought me out, like we had wrapped and then they brought me out into the set and they were all gathered and they were like, Lisa, we want to give you a present. You can have the bicycle. And I'm sure like for them, they're just trying to get rid of it. Like they don't want it. But I was like, oh, it's the coolest thing. I was like, Mom, you giving me the bike? Gee willikers, guys. Let's see. What does it feel like? Oh, Trust Dragon 5 says, now the other cat is pooping. I swear they wait until the cameras are rolling and then they start doing it. What does it feel like to get a pie in the face? There's actually a handful of questions in here about getting pied in the face. I don't know. I'm just going to take it at face value. and assumed that these are just innocent questions. I wanted to know what was pie in the face. So I've been pied in the face mostly during Slime Time Live, right? So they filmed Slime Time Live in Orlando, Florida, and I'd fly out there every once in a while with another cast member. I think I did it with Giovanni, and then also with Chelsea and Brian one time. You are so loud, you guys. And it was always about getting slimed and getting pied in the face. So it was just constant, right? Like every scene that I did, it was like a new pie in the face, a new messy experience, new horrors. No, actually it was a lot of fun. I always had a good time. But the pies were mostly whipped cream, but they had something else in them to give them like a different texture. I'm not really sure what it was. God, you're so... Can you hear this? It's like she's going 5 rounds with the litter box. Just doom, 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 doom. Stop punching the litter box. Do you hear that? Have you ever just been going to the bathroom and you're just like, oh, I'm so angry, and then you just start punching the toilet? That's what she's doing. Hey, don't punch the toilet. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the pies, it wasn't, they would say it was just whipped cream, but I know it wasn't, because there was some kind of other ingredient in there to like add to the texture. I don't know what it was, but they were delicious. They were really, really good. But the problem was that I had contact lenses at the time because I was blind as a bat. And every time I got pied in the face, it would get in my eyes, because they don't really wait for you to close your eyes when you get pied in the face. It's sort of an element of surprise. Element of surprise, very important in pieing people in the face. Maybe the only important step in all of it. Acquire pie somebody in the face when they are not expecting it. Those are the 2 steps. It's only 2 steps. So after I got pied in the face the first time on Slime Time Live, my contacts were gone and I couldn't see. I was just blind for the rest of the show. Just bumping into things. Oh, sorry, can't see anything. Oh, sorry. And then another pie in the face. Made it way easier to pie me in the face after that. Just, hey, go get that blind girl just wandering around the set. Oh, I just splooshed Celsius drink all over my face. That was gross. So yeah, but eventually I got LASIK surgery. So then it was not a problem getting pied in the face anymore. And LASIK was like the best thing I ever did. Like if you're on the fence about getting LASIK, get LASIK. Who is going to the bathroom now? Because both of you have gone. Kevin's going back in. That's 3 times. Unbelievable, these cats. Okay. Magaroth says, how did you get recruited to work at the game station Polaris? So this was way back in the day. If you guys remember the game station and Remag and Lane and, the Warp Zone is kind of where they started, and the Completionist, like all, like Dodger, Jesse Cox, like that whole crew, if you were into gaming at the time, that was, they were kind of like what were they? I don't even know how to explain it. Like they had a bunch of YouTube channels like under their umbrella, under the game station umbrella, and then they would, I guess, help manage all the channels. But I didn't work for the channels; I worked for them, right? So then they would kind of hire me to appear on people's channels. And I think the first one I appeared on was the Warp Zone for Miyamoto's Angels. And I can play a little clip of that because that was really fun.
So what are you looking for, sweetness?
Who, me? Well, I'm just, looking for some action. Under my umbrella, So... how did that come about? I can't remember. I think they just reached out to me. They emailed me, and I did Miyamoto's Angels, and then after that, they talked to me about the Street Fighter, which was a great narrative YouTube series that we put together that had a lot of heart and a lot of drama and a lot of fun video game guest stars in it. So I'm really thankful that I got to do that. And then after that, I don't know, I just kind of became part of the family. I did Fistful of Rupees. and tons more stuff with the Warp Zone. I just kind of hopped around from everybody's channels, from channel to channel, just appearing with everybody, and obviously hosting Remag. Yeah, I'm not really sure how it all happened. I think they just reached out, and I'm always just down for new opportunities, and I try to keep an open mind. So yeah, I was into it. Let's see. What else we got? What's the worst thing you've ever tasted? This is from golfer Josh 96. Now, here's something you need to know about me. I will eat anything. I'll eat anything. I will. I'm not picky. I just, even if I'm like, just is not really my thing, I'll just eat it anyway. I'm just always go with the flow, girl. I've talked about this, I think even in the last episode. Like, I'm go with the flow, girl. I'm in it. If you're in it, let's do it. Hey, I'm not really into mushrooms, but you give me a dish with mushrooms, I'm going to eat it. I don't really like onions, but you're going to give me a dish with onions, I'm going to just eat it. I'd rather just eat it than cause some kind of controversy. However, the only time that I actually had to tell the waitress that I didn't like my food, and it was so difficult, guys. So I went to this like Japanese place here in Vegas that everyone raves about. I don't even remember what it's called because I'm never going back there again, just out of sheer embarrassment. But I met up with my husband there. He went there all the time with his buddies. They loved it. They're like, oh, this place is so great. We gotta go. So I'm like, I want to go too. So then I went and I ordered these egg rolls, spring rolls. What's the difference? What are the ones that look like they come in some kind of condom? Do you know what I'm talking about? They come in like a film, like a like sort of a skin. Like, what is that? It's like here's what it's like. It's like if a snake shed its skin and then you took a portion of its skin and then you shoved it full of vegetables and meat and then you closed it off and then you served it to people. That's what it looked like, this spring roll. So it served to me. It seemed like a safe choice, right? Spring roll. Everybody likes spring rolls. The roll is great. It's going to be great. So they bring it to me and they set it in front of me. And I'm like, okay, it already looks a little strange. I don't really eat things that look like they're covered in snake skin, but let's just give it a try. So I take a bite. And it's the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life because there are actual leaves, stiff leaves in it. Like they went out back and found a bush and just grabbed a handful and stuck it into the snakeskin condom and then put it on a plate and served it to me. Like the leaves were stiff. And I think they were mint leaves. They were like pokey mint leaves. So not only did they taste bad, they were poking me in the mouth. Like the texture was wrong. They smelled so minty and awful. They tasted just like raw plants. Like if I just wandered into the woods and I was starving, I was just like, probably would have tasted the same or better. So I go into a panic because I'm like, I can't complain about this. I don't ever complain. Like I just don't do that. I'm not a complainer when it comes to food. I just eat it. So I try so hard to take more bites. And I'm just like suffering. Like I'm almost gagging. I'm like, I'm not a koala. Don't give me leaves. Don't give me leaves. I'm not a koala. Okay? I will eat a salad if it's got dressing on it, right? If it's got some kind of seasoning, if it's got some Caesar dressing on it, if it's got some chicken tossed in there, that's one thing. I do eat those leaves all the time, but don't give me like raw leaves. I'm not a koala. So then I had to call them over and be like, I'm so sorry, but I don't like this. I don't like it. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. That's fine. And it was all good, but I was embarrassed and I will never go back because they're going to remember me. And the chef's going to be like, that's the girl who didn't like my snakeskin leaf spring roll. So have you ever, okay, Phil182 says, have you ever done any voice work? I love the voices you do on the podcast. Well, thank you. Did I say podcast? Love the voices you do on the podcast. Thank you. That's what I meant to do. Yes, I love voiceover work. I voiced, my first video game voice was in Missplosion Man by Twisted Pixel. and I got to play the narrator. And then after that, they hired me to be the voice of Iris, the motorcycle, in Lococycle, which was an Xbox One game. And it was awesome. It was really cool to voice the lead character of a video game. During the time when I was working in the video game industry, I was super into video games. So it was just like, that was kind of a dream come true. And obviously I was Jocelyn in Desk of Death Battle and continue to be, I continued to be Jocelyn in Death Battle for many years. And as you guys know, sadly, Rooster Teeth went under, but Jocelyn was one of my favorite characters ever, and I would love to play her again sometime.
I'm Jocelyn the intern. I do all the research nobody else wants to, straight from the Desk of Death Battle.
What are we at on time? Okay, we're gonna do one more question, just because my short drive podcast I've been going over, y'all. I've been doing too long of episodes. Okay. Are you a Bijank? I'm not gonna do that one because I can't pronounce your username. But he said, "Are you a Marvel or DC person?" I think more Marvel, although I'm a big Batman fan. Okay. What's the last question I'm gonna pick? Okay, Mr. Adam Gershon. I love Adam. He's amazing. What's the shadiest thing you've ever done? Promise I won't use it for blackmail. So this is shady, but I didn't intend for it to be shady, right? Like, I had good intentions at the time. But when you're dumb, sometimes when you have good intentions, they turn out very badly when you're dumb, like me. When I was on Nickelodeon and living in LA, I used to be involved in lots of celebrity bowling tournaments. Not just bowling, just like celebrity tournaments. I don't know, just like random stuff like that, right? Basically just get a bunch of celebrities together, let them interact with fans, do a silent auction, raise money for charity. Like, they were always great. But they love to do celebrity bowling tournaments. And the first one I ever did, I think I was like the only kid star, right? It was a bunch of adult stars, not like adult film star, like grown up actors. There's a lot of grown up actors, and then I was one of the only kid stars. And it was a charity bowling tournament. Come bowl with your favorite celebrity, raise money. It's great. So they paired me up with these two little girls who were massive All That fans. And I hung out all day and I bowled with them, and it was super fun, and we were joking and I was making them laugh. And they put down the bumpers, right? They put down the bumpers. So I was crushing it. I was bowling with the bumpers and I was crushing it. And we all had to keep track of our own scores. So I was keeping track of my score on a piece of paper, bowling with the bumpers. And then at the end, we had to submit our scores. And none of this was adding up. Like, none of this, at no point did I realize what I was doing. Because I was just having fun with these little girls. But then they were like, everyone gather around. We're going to announce the winners of the tournament. And guess who won? Your girl won the bowling tournament. Huh? Nobody knew that I was bowling with bumpers and keeping track of the score that shouldn't have counted because I was bowling with bumpers. So then everyone applauded, and they brought me up and they awarded me a trophy, and I had to say, do a speech. So technically I cheated, and I should not have won a charity bowling tournament, but the trophy was pretty sick, and I still have it somewhere. Dude, you get called up in front of everybody, and they're gonna hand you a shiny gold trophy, and people are clapping, and people are smiling, and everybody's happy. What are you gonna do? Tell them you cheated? No. Do the ethical thing? No. You're gonna take the trophy and give a speech. So yeah, a little shady. But again, I didn't mean it. To be. And also, again, not a real tournament. It was just for it was more so for those little girls to have a great day hanging out with me from All That. Lisa Foyles, redhead from All That, former child star. It was more important for them to have that experience than it was to actually have a legit tournament. Like, nobody was there to win. They were all just there for charity and have fun. So yeah, a little shady, but it's fine. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in every week. Thank you for submitting all of your AMA questions. You guys are the best. Subscribe if you want to. You can subscribe if you want to. You can leave your Kevin's behind. Yes. Anyway, that's all I got. Bye.